All right, everybody, how are y'all doing? If you don't know, I'm Rachel. If you're new to this channel, and I do book reviews, and I've been doing Disney pairings with books, and I did before Miyazaki pairings with books. So Disney pairings with books, I did the Golden Age and the Silver Age last time, and this time we're going to do a really interesting part of Disney history. We're doing the Bronze Age and the Dark Age. So I'm going to put those on the screen just so that you can see what that means. And I'm not used to sitting in the middle frame, but we're going to be putting the movies over here and the books over here. And yeah, these are very interesting parts of Disney's. I have a lot of friends whose favorite movies are part of this little era here that it's almost like the forgotten movies from Disney, but they were a big part of my childhood. Most of them were. Um, there is one on this list that I've never seen before, and that's Black Cauldron, but I've heard a lot about it, so I think I'm pretty safe in what I paired it with. Um, but y'all in the comments below can help me out with the Black Cauldron one if there's a better pairing. I would love to hear it. All right, let's start with one of my personal favorites growing up was the Aristocats. This one is very fish out of water. It's a cat family from a wealthy home who gets dumped basically as like it's a very funny like murder attempt of these cats that are going to inherit a lot of wealth, and it's a very much a fish out of water wealthy person in the like rough parts, I think, of London and that kind of thing. And so this was the hardest one for me, so I just picked a fish out of water story is timeline. So instead of wealthy people being stuck in the poorer parts of town, this is modern people being stuck in medieval times. So that is where I like connected those two. So again, these are like kind of a stretch, but that's fine. It's fun that way. The other thing I forgot to say that I said in the other one, even though Disney people think of it as children, my book picks are not for children. So please don't have your kid read this book to thinking my kid likes Aristocats. No, like this is a very, very gory book, so don't do that. But yeah, this one I would pair with the Aristocrats for the fish out of water things. All right, next is Robin Hood. Robin Hood is a very old story. Y'all probably know it, but I kind of focused on the love story is also pretty similar to the Aristocats, is the very poor man and then he falls in love with the very wealthy lady. And I watched the Disney one a lot as a kid. I also watched the Errol Flynn one, if you know that one. But I actually thought it would be fun for this one. It's kind of a gender bend, if you think of it, is Pride and Prejudice, a very wealthy man falling in love with the less wealthy lady, and him kind of coming in and saving the day still, though. Because he's definitely the hero of this story. He definitely comes in and saves Elizabeth's whole family. So yeah, that's the pairing I did there. It's kind of like a fun gender bend if you think of it. All right. Next is, oh, so special to me is Winnie the Pooh. This comes in with the rule that I'm not allowed to choose the book that actually goes with the movie because that's no fun. I definitely own this book. I own a collection of all the Winnie the Pooh stories, and my mom had a very old, beautiful copy of the original Winnie the Pooh. It's just a very special story to me and my husband, and so this one was hard to pair because it's just so unique. I don't know if there's something very much like it ever. It's just so peaceful and beautiful and very small problems and very funny, cute problems, and so it was very hard to place. But I just like took the feeling that I feel when I read Winnie the Pooh, just this like peace and going back to simpler times. So that's why I chose Anne of Green Gables. It's a very simple story, very cute and silly, and not that important events happening, a very idyllic setting. So that's kind of where I connected these. The setting and the tone are pretty similar there for Anne of Green Gables. All right, next is The Rescuers. So this is the first one. I am a personal huge fan of the second one, but we are talking about the first one. It's about a little girl who gets captured by these horrible people trying to get a really important diamond, and then, like the title says, they're rescuers, and the rescuers happen to be little mice. So this one was also kind of a stretch, and I didn't realize until I sat down to film this video that I actually gave my copy to my nephew. So this is not the book, but it's in the same series. I chose Mossflower because the mouse comes in and saves the day, but also just like the villains are kind of similar in Mossflower to the rescuers. So that's kind of where I connected it. So this is not the right book, but it's in the series because I gave away my copy of Mossflower. So Mossflower, I'll also put a copy here. I can just do that, of Mossflower. So kind of breaking the rules because it's supposed to be books I own, but I did own it recently. All right, next one is Starting with the Dark Age. So this is where people saw a downgrade in the quality of movies. However, again, I have a lot of friends whose favorite movies are in this era. So one of my favorite growing up was Fox and the Hound. So I watched this movie over and over and over and over again growing up, and it was a very special book to me. And a lot of the themes are friendship and betrayal. So that's how I picked The Lightning Thief, because those are also the themes in this book. A lot of friendships, a lot of found family, which is also in Fox and the Hound, and a lot of betrayal. So that is why I picked The Lightning Thief. Yeah, it's a series that I'm curious about, but I haven't really gotten very far into. And yeah, the writing style bothers me, but I did like the story. So we'll see if I continue with that. The next one is the one I was talking about, Black Cauldron. I've never watched it before, and I apologize, but I do know the basic storyline, and I do know a lot about it and a lot about the making of it. So that's why I chose Wizard of Earthsea, because the tone is very similar, and the storyline and the villains are kind of similar. So yeah, this is a good book. It was kind of hard to read. It is like older fantasy. So be aware if you want to read Wizards of Earthsea, it does move kind of slower because it is definitely like an older fantasy book. But it is a series that I would like to continue someday. All right. Next is The Great Mouse Detective. This is another one where I heard the story of it over and over and over again, and I also know Sherlock Holmes like the back of my hand, so I never watched it until like recently. I think I've only seen it once though, but the tones are very similar. It's very much in London, so that's why I picked Agatha Christie's Third Girl, because it's also in London, and it's also the one where Poirot has a sidekick, like Sherlock Holmes does in Watson. So that is definitely why I picked this one here. So in this one, Poirot has a friend who kind of follows along and kind of learns from him. So that's why I chose this. And it's also a city. It's actually, I think, also London. So similar vibes there. All right, and then finally, the movie that just like rocked my world as a child was Oliver and Company. I absolutely adore this movie. I adore the Disney thing of taking really old literature and like kidifying it, which is just so much fun. I'm a huge fan of that because these are classic stories. So this is obviously from Oliver. It's a book by Dickens, I believe. If it's not, that's hilarious. I'm sorry. But it's a book about an orphan who gets picked up by a gang, kind of, and it's like found family. So I chose The Way of Kings for this one because it is definitely found family, and it's definitely he was better off before and now he's kind of not, but he founds his family and he finds his place there. So that is the one I picked for Oliver and Company. Again, because I can't pick the original book. All right, so that is the Bronze and Dark Ages of Disney, and next time we're going to be doing the Renaissance, which I'm so excited for. But these movies, what is it, 8? These 8 movies are really good. Like, check them out if you haven't seen them. Obviously, I can't speak for Black Cauldron. I've heard that one of the characters is really annoying, but yeah. Watch these movies if you haven't seen them. Just because it's called the Dark Ages of Disney doesn't mean that they're not really good movies. In fact, Oliver and Company was pretty popular at the time. So yeah, check them out and I'll see you next time. Bye.